Namaskar dear students, welcome you to our channel Bio by Gulab Sir. As a part of series of lectures, today's topic is cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle is a cyclic repetition of events. That cyclic repetition of events in a repeated fashion, that's cyclically repeated. Sequential events in the heart which is cyclically repeated is called cardiac cycle. What are the sequential events? Atrial systole, ventricular systole and giant diastole. These are the three events. They repeatedly occur in heart to receive and pump the blood is known as cardiac cycle. In another way, it can be defined as simultaneous contraction and relaxation of auricles and ventricles to receive and pump the blood one time is called one cardiac cycle. So let us begin with the events, how the cardiac cycle occur. It is what very clearly shown on this page that these are the three major events: atrial systole, ventricular systole and giant diastole. These three cyclically repeated to receive and pump the blood. So how? Let us understand from this diagram. See this diagram where it is clearly shown that joint diastole we can consider before starting atrial systole. All chambers are in relaxed stage, and yes, in relaxed stage, when chambers are in relaxed stage, blood is received in auricles from superior and inferior vena cava as well as pulmonary vein. As that tricuspid and bicuspid valves are open, blood is continued to flow from auricle to ventricle, and hence it is joint diastole. But when auricular systole begin, that is what contraction of auricle, when sinoauricular node produce a wave of contraction, pass over auricle contract and pump blood into the ventricle. That is called atrial systole, auricular systole. It increases 30% more flow of blood from auricle to ventricle. Now next stage, ventricular systole. As auricular systole is completed, that is called depolarization of auricle, completely pour that blood into ventricle and ventricular contraction begins. By that time auricles are relaxed. Now when ventricular systole, that is depolarization of ventricle, contract and pump blood into pulmonary artery and aorta. To prevent the backflow of blood, these AV valves get closed and produce first sound called love. So blood is pumped into aorta and artery with the ventricular depolarization. Now next step, when blood is pumped and ventricle begin to relax, so these semilunar valves get closed. Beginning of ventricular diastole, that is repolarization of ventricle, means already auricles are in relaxed stage and ventricle depolarization. So ventricular relaxation and auricular relax together is called giant diastole. So here this is the cycle that what you did understand from these steps: joint diastole, auricular systole, ventricular systole, and once again repeat joint diastole in a cyclic manner is a cardiac cycle. So these events are shown here with this diagram. We also can understand by another diagram. These diagrams are there. See, this is a joint diastole. Relax is shown, R word is shown in 4 chamber. With the contraction of auricle, by that time ventricles are relaxed and blood is poured into ventricles. Now in joint diastole state, already blood is transferring from auricle to ventricle, but with the contraction of auricle, 30% more blood inflow. That is what transfer of blood from auricle to ventricle increases, and that is shown here. In these two conditions, that blood is continuously flowing from auricle to ventricle. So this first step, that auricular systole is completed. Ventricular systole when begins, that with the contraction of ventricle, blood pump into the aorta and artery. By that time, this AV valve get closed and produce first sound called love. When blood is completely pumped from ventricle begin to relax, that is repolarization of ventricle, result to close close the semilunar hole to prevent the backflow of blood. That produces second sound called dub. By that time, AV valve get open, auricles are already in relaxed stage and ventricle which begin to relax, that is called joint diastole. So beginning of joint diastole, and joint diastole lasts for 0.4 second. So auricle contract for 0.1 second, ventricle contract for 0.3 second, and joint diastole is occur for 0.4 second. Together it count 0.8 second. Now this is what exactly that simultaneous contraction and relaxation of auricle and ventricle to receive and pump the blood goes cyclically, and hence it is a cardiac cycle. Now to understand that how much blood is flow per stroke, that is with the contraction of auricle and ventricles. So on the last page with these notes it is clearly mentioned that the heart rate, stroke volume and cardiac output. What is heart rate and what is stroke volume and what is cardiac output? Stroke volume means when ventricular systole begins, both the ventricles, the volume of blood is pumped by both the ventricles is called stroke volume. So volume of blood pumped by both the ventricles when ventricular systole begins is called stroke volume. What is heart rate? Number of heartbeat per minute, that is 72 heartbeat per minute is a heart rate. Then what is cardiac output? Since with one contraction 70 ml of blood is pumped, then how much blood is pumped in 1 minute? That is in 72 heartbeat. So to calculate cardiac output, stroke volume into heart rate, that is 70 ml into 72 heartbeat per minute, that is heart rate, is equal to, that will be the cardiac output. It is around 5040 milliliter. It is approximately 5 liter, 5000 milliliter. So stroke volume is 70 ml and cardiac output is 5 liter per minute. So you did understand, with that cardiac cycle the volume of blood is pumped per stroke and per minute, and thus here the cardiac cycle is completed. Here this information is given as a notes, you can refer with this diagram so as to understand what is cardiac cycle. I hope you did understand these 3 steps to complete the cardiac cycle. Even if you are in doubt, you can ask in comment section. I appeal you to like our channel as well as subscribe if you are new, and also appeal you to press bell icon so as to receive notification as and when new videos are uploaded. Thank you.